Well, once again, it's time, my friends, for another meet and greet. We're Southern Fried and nationwide, so hang on to your seat. Look around, here's what I found. I guess you'll never know what you'll see on the Southern Fried Podcast Show. Yeehaw!
Hello, hello. How is everyone? I hope everything is coming through clear. I hope that you are having a good day. And sorry for being a little late. If you've been waiting on us, I've pushed it once and would have been on sooner. Run into some issues, but we're glad to be here. And special Front Porch Live. I was planning on being on Front Porch. In fact, I was, but we didn't have anybody coming by, and mine went off other places. So I just avoided loud cars and motorcycles and things come on inside. But we're glad to have you here. For those that come in, I hope you're having a wonderful day. And if you celebrate in some way this day, I know that I don't celebrate the darkness of it or anything, but I like a little pumpkin, or I like candy, or and I don't mind the kids dressing up with something that's not dark and demented or something like that. We've worked real hard to try to have fun, but yet still honor the Lord in all we do. And you're never going to please everybody, so no matter what you do, somebody judges you. And so I just quit worrying about that a long time ago. And um, not that I don't have, not that I don't try to do the best I can or nothing like it. When I say I don't care, as I do care, but I don't care that. Because you can't please the whole world, and you're not trying to please the world, you're trying to please the Lord. And so everybody has a different idea of how you're supposed to please the Lord, and so you'll never fully pass muster on any of that. I've learned that a long time ago. So just enjoy. Every day is a celebration and fun, and in some way it can make it fun. Not Life's not meant to be drudgery or anything, and so we do have fun with that. But anyway, was intending on being on just a little bit earlier, but I'm here now, and so happy Halloween, or happy October 31st, or whatever you want. New month coming. I did work early elections today, and out there on our streams, on some of them, not all of them, I think. Well, actually, it's not even on our stream. I think it's on my personal Facebook. There's a picture of me with one of the ladies who dressed up today, and we were having a little fun out in front of the precinct by the sample ballot board. And busy day. Wasn't crazy busy, but it was busy. It was very steady, and people kept coming and voting. And in our county, those numbers are over 50% of those who are active voters. There's two different terms. I've not seen this before, but there's those who are registered and those who are active. I mean, there's people that have kept, they're registered, they're good, but they're not active. So there's two different numbers. Never saw that before, so it was interesting to me to see that. I think it was 45,000 plus. Hey, Cook, good to see you. Yes, happy day in the Lord, absolutely, and thankful for that. And Cook, you've got one of your drawings as your logo there for your YouTube. Uh, Hope you're having a good day, brother. Hope things are good for you, and you're home and safe, or whatever you're doing tonight. We're glad to have you in. But yeah, there's a registered and an active, and I think the active is around 45 plus, and the registered was around 52 plus. So we were well over 20 something thousand that had already voted. So that polls just closed a little while ago in Georgia. We in our county we did extended that till 7. There is tomorrow. Tennessee's last day was today, and then of course election day. So they'll go. Georgia will go till 5 tomorrow, and then everything will be shut down for the weekend. And then Tuesday's election day. So I will be working that all day long. Looking forward to that, and had a lot of good interactions with voters today. They were in a good mood. Most of them. Some were a little more. I don't know. They had a lot on their mind or something. They weren't ill, but they weren't in a just seemed like they just wanted to hurry up, vote, and get out. They didn't have much to say, but most of them were in a really good mood. And they were happy that we were there. We were thanked a lot, and it's our honor to be a part of that. And yes, we are blessed, Cook. We sure are blessed. Um, well, there's a lot of rumors, my friend. There's a lot of rumors about the election, and I tend to be careful with those. I heard these same rumors if we go back to 2020, and I don't necessarily want to get into steals and all those things because you really just can't. Uh, there were things that went on that were wrong, and there probably is every election, and they're trying to fix those, and there's fighting on both sides about how to fix those things. And there's some Supreme Court has weighed in some states, so it really goes state by state by state. But I believe that it is very close. These people that are doing all this prognosticating about blowouts and stuff either way, they really need to stop. It really needs to stop. And what we need to just do is focus on the voter and say, voter, if you have not voted, please don't listen to these people who don't know. They do exit polling, yes, but that can be highly manipulated. And again, it doesn't come down to who has the most. That's not the way our system sets up. Now, sometimes it is the person who had the most. They get all the 270 electoral votes to win. Have to get to that anyway. It's first one there, and they'll usually go above that to some degree. Um, and they will win. And there's been this argument about, well, the person with the most votes didn't win. Well, okay, it's not set up that way, and you need to stop that because some states just have a lot of people and they dwarf the other states. The electoral college gives smaller states a voice, and we cannot let them take things away. There's reasons those checks and balances are there. Everything's not perfect, but it's really good and it's effective and it works. And so just go vote and don't worry about they say, well, it's just no use. No, get out and vote. I'm telling you, some of these states, these toss-up states, are going to be so close. It's going to come down to, a small amount of voters, and how much that is, I don't know. I don't know, but I'm careful with that. I've been fooled before, and even though again, setting aside the problems with the vote, if there, whatever happened, I'll just put it that way. I don't like to say if, what, when, and whether. I'll just say whatever happened in 2020 has been looked at by so many different people and has continued to be looked at. But I will say this, that, President Trump himself said he got more votes, some more votes, but he lost. And we can argue the reasons or whatever else, but some people should have voted that didn't, but even though there was more votes, but they were predicting blowouts and all that didn't happen. Maybe in some states, yeah, but in those really close states like Georgia, it's not what happened. I mean, look how close it came down. And again, third party really is what took those votes away. That 11,000 was if it easily been if they won over the third party, and we've got 61,000 or whatever it was in Georgia. But it's very, very close. The governor's race has been very close. I mean, about 200,000. That's still very close to me. I mean, you think about it. It's easy to swing a lot of people. You think about the population around Atlanta. But I'll say this. I live in an area where, uh, I don't know how anybody voted. Obviously, one guy had asked to take off his cap, and he had on a Trump cap, and he thought. I mean, I don't know if he knows the law. He said he just tossed it back in the truck. He was nice about it, but he said, I know how people are. They get offended. It's not about being offended. It's the law. And so that was the only hiccup today. Uh, I know it's a hiccup. It's just something we have to watch. You just can't let them come in wearing campaign material. And apparently it's happened at least one other time because they were telling me about a lady who had to go and turn her shirt inside out. But I don't know how people voted. But it's a very conservative area, and so you think that probably the conservative candidates are going to do very well. But that's one county out of 159. I mean, that's a lot of different accounting to go on. But yeah, I'd say Cook, you're right. Cowboy Cook, this is. If you don't recognize the Roy Cook, it's Cowboy Cook, famous part of crew here. He checks in from time to time. He comes in to chat a lot, and I appreciate that. Long time friend, my brother in Christ, and just my best friend. And I've got some really close friends, but he's right there. But I did want to come on tonight. It's a special front porch talking, and I was going to be planning on being on anyway. I had another program, and they still do. It's kind of early for me, and we may take a break and then come back. Trying to upload. I was actually working on some of the streams and uploading some stuff. And but I hope you have a lot of trick or treaters. It's a chance to engage with kids and give them some candy. That's a feel good thing. Our neighborhood just hasn't had that in a long time. A lot of people don't even set out, and so I tried and I didn't see anybody, and I'll just give it to the kids that I know, and there'll be gifts on on. I take them to school, and so we'll get them some more candy as if they need it, or we'll keep it around here. And I did steal me though. One of the kinds I like, the little smaller ones. And candy's high, so you sure don't want to waste it. Um, I love you too, brother. Love you too. Did you have anything good to eat tonight on this Halloween night? I gotta drink my coffee. I had a big cup of coffee this morning as I went in. Had to be at the precinct at 7. By 7, I was there early, obviously, and um, um, we we had a good opening. We were open well within the time, and it it was a good day. Like I said, and today I love. I don't mind doing any job in the precinct, and they'll move you around. And the other day I did scanner and BMD. Today my first 2 hours was greeter, and I love that. I like to greet, and well, no, and if I don't, to your comment, and if you watched. If you've watched me any, you would hear me say that. So, but Cook says he had, what did he say he had here? Air fried barbecue wings and salad. That's pretty good. Um, so that's pretty good, man. Air fried, yeah, barbecue wings and salad. It all sounds good, except I wouldn't probably like the same salad dressing that you like. I don't know what you use, but we probably are not alike on that, to be honest. I would say, if I had to take a guess, I would say we're probably not the same on that. So I don't know, but hopefully you had some folks come. I don't know if anybody comes by on your street either. We own some our streets were. We have kids there now, but it's not like it was when we were kids, Cook. I mean, there were kids everywhere, and the neighborhood got older, and it's been flipping over the last few years. There's still a few elderly people, but it has flipped, and but some of the people that move in, they don't have kids, or they're very small, and so it's not a lot of folks that come around. So, but I had my bowl and I had it out there ready, and it was already getting moving past 7:30, and I don't see anybody. So they generally come early if they're coming. So I was out there for a bit. Matter of fact, I think I cut my light off. Maybe I didn't. Have a security light, and was gonna just cut it off if it didn't go off. It was staying on because I was out there. And let's see here. Let's see what it did. It may have stayed on, but that's okay. It looks like it went off. Sometimes the animals come by. You wake up and there's animals in your front yard, and they set the cameras off, and uh, you know, I'm always, I was always have this, you always have this fear you're gonna wake up and there's some Jason-looking character standing there. You're like, oh, but hopefully not. Hopefully never. But it was I knew it. I knew it. I know, Cook, and it's just that way. It's just that way. And like I said, at one time, I remember as a kid, just about every house on the street, on our street, did, and that's just changed over the years. And one of these years, it may come back that way. Who knows? I just think, a lot of people they just go to neighborhoods where really the whole neighborhood really gets excited about it. And there are some of those around here, and there's 200 or 300 homes, and it's huge subdivisions, and the whole. It seems like most of the people on the street really get into it. It's just a sea of people that are moving around house to house, and so it's not like here where it's in the street lights, and people feel safer because there's a lot more people out. Where our street, it's dark. There's no street light. There are few. There's a hand. I mean, one or two. That's probably the same on your street, Cook. And they don't get out there on those streets. It's kind of dark, and I had some people walk over, but they were on next door. They'd already been out and went to some other streets. But you know, I never was really into the whole thing. I just wanted the candy. And I'd throw a mask on and just sort of look the part when I was a kid, and then I'd just go do it. But I really hated the whole. I never was into that trick or treat. I just like just give me some candy. I'm good. But it was fun, really, just to be out. Yeah, it was busy years ago. Things change, man. It's an older neighborhood. Like I said, that is starting to change. It's flipping around back again, but it's going to take some time. And some people that came in of, they don't have, like I said, they don't have kids or older even. It's not really, families. It's widows, it's individuals, and those that do live here, they might not even have kids or married, they don't have kids. So there's just really no move of that right now. And there's still older people on the street, but that's okay. That's okay. Um, Mine overslept, and she was in a. That's one of the reasons I wasn't on there on time. She was not in really a good mood. She woke up and she thought, she wasn't going to get to go with some people she wanted to go with, but they're out, and hopefully they'll be back not too long because they got school tomorrow. But she'll be happy. You gotta. Yeah, it's dark. You walk down my street, you want to have a flashlight. I mean, it's dark. Um, but I remember Cook. I don't know if you remember this. Did you have somebody on your street that really got into it? I remember it, down there where they changed that property. I don't like that they changed it. It's America, but they changed it from a residential to a commercial. There's been businesses there, but when I was a kid, there was these two older people that lived there, and they had the prettiest place on the whole street, probably in the whole 2 or 3 street area. It was just a wonderful couple, and they made the best stuff. They didn't give out boxed candy. They made stuff, and everybody knew that was on. It was around here, and people probably on a couple other streets knew that, and then you get there, and I mean, they made stuff. They made it and wrapped it. It was special. And they greeted you. They talked with you. They were, encouraging you. They wanted you to come. And but I think she might have passed away first, and then he did, and the property was sold. It sat empty for a long time. The house was removed, and anyway, it was. When you think, I mean, I'm 59, so 50 years ago, I would have been doing that. They were still alive then, I'm sure. That's just how things change, man. People get older, and you know, it's just a passage of time. But it's sad because you have these memories, and they were. I always look forward to that. They were just. I got to believe they were Christians. I don't remember ever asking. And I kind of think I remember them putting something in my bucket or my bag. I think back in we just did a sack. They wasn't too many buckets being sold. We just, and if they were, I wasn't getting it. It was their sack. We went to we got them at the store. We folded them up, and we'd use them for stuff. And that was the old sack. And you tried to you get so much in there, you had to start carrying it from the bottom. And I can remember that thing being over half full. I'd be carrying the thing, trying to get it home without it busting open. And sometimes, we didn't really have plastic bags back then. That was it was not a thing. You had garbage bags, but none of them plastic bags. It was all paper sack. The brown paper sack for groceries. And that's what we carried. Then eventually, I saw people carrying 5-gallon buckets. That's they had those. They were pretty everywhere. And by the way, Rob was supposed to be on here tonight. He sent me a message. I didn't get to respond to him. because I was really busy at the time, and I need to um, give him a hey. I don't know if he said he was just I don't know what's going on, and just sent him a little message back because he'll think he didn't answer me. So I gave that, but I was really just trying to get busy. But okay, Cook says Mr. and Mrs. Bohannon on my street used to give out popcorn and candy bars, and I think this couple over here did the same thing, man. I think that was one of the things they did. Yeah, they were homemade. Were they kin to the Bohannons? The other Bohannons, that ran the junkyard, or was that just coincidence, or do you know? I did. The people was on your street, right? Mr. and Mrs. Bohannon. There used to be a lot of kids on your street, man. I mean, the school. We all rode the school bus together, most of us, and there wasn't a whole. There was a few on my street, a handful, but it was the speeds, that are related to Kaylee. We always stopped there, and there was a handful. Later on, there would have been other kids after I was out of school. I was older than a lot of those that came along later, and Stricklands and different ones. I guess they were there when they were in school because I really know them. Well, I did when they was teenagers. Really know them, but you knew them a lot longer. And so, yeah, you had people that on your street, and they made these special, things. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with the box candy. It has candy's candy, but it's nice when somebody makes something like that. Some some fudge or the popcorn things or whatever. Rice Krispie treats. I think I remember getting some of those. Somebody would have Rice Krispie treats, and they would put those in, and that was always cool as well. I like those, man. I'm a big fan. I'm a bigger fan of the Rice Krispie treats than I was of the cereal, but I ate the cereal. So it's I guess as we get older, we're a little melancholy. We reflect on different times, and I hate that in a lot of ways. That it has aged, and um, it's I'm kind of torn. I don't want to be right on top of each other. This is not too bad on my street, your street. We have our own property. We're not right on top of each other. But there's part of me that likes something a little more out and a little more private. But some of them are just jammed together. I wouldn't want that. I wouldn't want to be jammed into the house is 6 foot apart or something. It seems like, or 10 foot. It's we got a little more than that. Not much, but a little bit. It's but what is sad is that you don't have a lot of kids, and it's like anything. Kids are the lifeblood. I mean, kids in your church, kids in your family. They keep you young. They make you laugh. It's just, oh yeah. Well, that's the whole end of the other end of the spectrum, my man. I'm not even gonna put that on screen, but we know, right? We know. I wasn't thinking that, but yeah, I do. Yeah, I love them. And a simple treat to make, really, really simple, but very nice. And they'll keep. They'll keep. You caught me off guard with that. It's cracked me up as I thought about. Every neighborhood, kids, but every neighborhood, well, not every neighborhood, but many neighborhoods always had the Ruffins, and you had to deal with the Ruffins. And it's sad that it became that. And the reason they became that is because their parents were Ruffins, and they in and out of jail, and probably a lot of um, alcohol for sure, probably some drug use, and you just raise some rough kids, and they get into trouble, and the neighborhood has to deal with it sometimes. But I do too, man. I love the privacy. I'm a very I'm a neighborly guy, I'm a friendly guy, and everything, but I do like my privacy. I mean, you know, I I don't like. I wouldn't want to. And I get it. Some people live in apartments. That's cool. It's okay. If I had to, I would. I would enjoy that. I like my privacy. I don't even really like going to hotels. I do it, but I always feel like and especially if you got kids, you always feel like you got and it's probably not that way, but you always feel like if it gets a little late, the kids are still kind of having fun. You kind of quiet them down because you're worried that the people next door, you're going to bed at 7 p.m. On the road and on a vacation. That's just the way they do. And you're like, well, we're gonna be bugging them and stuff. Our kids are really good now. I mean, they're older anyway. But I just like I like cabins and stuff when I go out of town. That's cool. But even sometimes those can be a little on top of each other. To be honest, I mean, it depends on where you're at because they'll jam them things anywhere. Land's so expensive. They have to throw up cabins all over a mountain. You know, this is very expensive, and they got to make it work for them. And now there's all those rental firms that handle that for people. They just pay people to go in and clean up, do maintenance, and or that rental place will usually do it for them, and they get a cut of the profits, and they don't have to do anything with it. I mean, yeah, it's worth it to them to have them managing that. So the property management folks handle all that stuff now. So, but I do like the privacy. But I was looking forward to. I had nobody come by, and I thought, I'm not gonna say it. Then I thought, no, I'm gonna do it, and I was going to broadcast from there, but after the first Harley come by, and then there was some other things, I thought, well, maybe it's not the best idea to do this. If I had Rob in here, and he would, if I needed to, I could mute the mic and stuff for 2 or 3 minutes if I needed to. But he wasn't able to make it, and so I'm just going to pop back in. Everybody else was gone, and I'll pop back in and make my coffee and be at my favorite desk and favorite chair, and we'll just do it from here. But good day. I got to work tomorrow, but we will be on in the morning at 6 a.m. our normal Friday morning show. Then tomorrow night, Front Porch Talking. Don't forget, this is a special Front Porch Halloween edition. But Friday night, we were supposed to have what a great tie-in with Halloween. We got the Backwoods Cryptids be on with us, special guest rescheduled from last Friday. I'm looking forward to that. I hope he's able to stay about the whole show with us. I hope he's able to stay and answer questions, and we'll have fun. And you know, uh, got to take mom to Walmart. Is that now? Are y'all going now, or is that tomorrow? So what is the time frame, my man? Is that like y'all are going now, or you're going late or tomorrow? I just want to know because if you get down there, always think about the Southern Fried and videos. If you just record them, or if you want to go live, I'll send you a link. But whatever. I'm just telling you. But if you got to go, if you're going to not be safe out there, uh, watch out for the little kiddos. They'll be out till 9 or a little later, and you got to watch for them. Some people don't really think about how to dress those kiddos, and they don't have any reflective clothing on. So you got to be really careful as you're out driving about. Even on these, might be one family walking down the neighborhood, or maybe back from somewhere. So y'all just be careful. And hard to see. I was. I've had a couple of times in my life where I have turned and I didn't see somebody with all dressed dark clothing, and I saw movement. It caught my eye. Something moved, a hand, a foot. I thought, what's that? And I realized they were right in my path, and I had put on the brakes, kind of hard, like I didn't see them. And just makes you have about 4 heart attacks when that happens. It absolutely does. It's really hard when you think about, out when you're like that. And I see well. Some people have trouble seeing at night. I see well. And thanks to they're in on Instagram. We appreciate you coming in the live. Hope you're doing well. If you got kids, I hope they're having fun tonight. Had fun. But yeah, it's scary when you turn and you can't see something. I see good. I do have a little bit of because I wear glasses and glare and everything. I have to be careful of that. If it's raining, that's really tough. Especially dark roads and stuff. Hey, Lewis, how's things up your way? Hope you're having a good October 31st. We're fixing to move into the new year. Got time change this weekend. You get the extra hours sleep, so hope you're doing well. Chick Bait, all the whole crew up there. Um, yeah, got to get some good stuff. Yeah, always, brother. Appreciate you being in here. Cowboy Cook. By the way, big Falcons Cowboys game this weekend. Cowboy Cook on one side, me on the other. We don't make bets or nothing, but we do have the big face off this week. We usually he's usually rooting with me for the Falcons, but this week they'll be all in on the big star, the big blue star. The Cowboys are coming to town. They truly are because they're going to be in Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium, brother man. Uh, yeah, absolutely, Lewis. I was going to set up outside, and I was telling everybody that we didn't really have any trick or treaters, so I came back in. Uh, Still a few skeeters out, so I guess I just come into the safety of being inside in my coffee. Um, but yeah, I'm glad you're doing good. Appreciate you being here, and you know, I do, like I said, I work a little bit over the weekend, so it's uh, it's good to be at the weekend. Rob always says, you made it to the weekend, and we have, but then I think, well, I got to work one day anyway. I don't have to. I want to. Well, it helps the family, raising a granddaughter, and we're just spotting it like anybody else. So in that sense, yeah, you do. Um, yeah, it's truth, brother. It's truth. Not much out now. Like I told Cowboy Cook, around here, there are some subdivisions where it's people. They just load up and go to those areas now because they know there's a lot of houses. There's a lot of people out. It's a community type thing. There's several like that around the area that I'm at. And I heard people saying where they're going to go. And actually, my granddaughter, they went to one that's it's not usually mentioned, but I've been in there with them, and I didn't know there was that many houses back there in the area that they go to. We went to a trunk or treat last year at a church there, and went back in that neighborhood, and I didn't think we was ever going to get out of there. And I'm like, okay, I think we got enough. Let's go. Well, there's a few more houses up here, and I'm like, it's getting kind of late. So we got done. It took forever, traffic, it was just too much for me to walk the whole thing. I'd have been limping like Mean Joe Green coming off the field if I'd have walked that whole thing. So you try to take the car, but it's crowded. You got to go very slow. But we do have some. But yeah, on my street, not so much. Not so much. I wonder if it's Halloween is still huge. I mean, there's no doubt about it. A lot of money spent on Halloween. Um, Cook, I don't know. Cook's probably already gone. I don't know if you saw my picture today where I was at the precinct. And um, let's see here. Okay, we got another message coming in. Um, but that's about work. I'll get with her in just a minute. Um, but yeah, it's difficult when you got to work and you got all this different things going on about holidays and stuff, and it's in the middle of the week or towards the end of the week or even the first of the week, and how do you manage that? That can be difficult, and people are, I remember the years ago, I think it was years ago in Atlanta. You may not remember this. They started doing things a little different. There was the Atlanta lockdown that happened, and what happened is it was in the middle of the week or something, or beginning of the week, and all these people were trying to get home, and it locked Atlanta down, just locked her down. I mean, nobody could move, and a lot of people missed being at home with their kids to take them because there's so many people living around there, and they couldn't. They made changes. I think they organized that now where they say, okay, this is the day we're going to do it. I don't know if they wait till Friday night or Saturday. I know they want it off that weekday because they're like, wow, they just locked the city down. It's been several years ago. I don't remember how long, probably longer than I'm thinking, but I remember that, just locked the city down. Nobody could get home. People said they had 2 and 3 hour drive times to get home for, just a few miles. I mean, it was gridlock. People were just stuck in their car. They were angry. It was a angry populace. But you know what? You put all those people I mean, it's a huge area, but millions of people. What is it? 4 million in the metropolitan Atlanta area, in Atlanta and then outside that area, and a lot of those people drive into Atlanta to work. They don't live there. Some do, but they live in the burbs, and so uh, you get into the the trying to get home. And I would say I was at the I was at a class. I was doing a class, a week long class in Atlanta. So it's not been too many years ago. And it was a 5 day class. You leave early on Friday after your test. You took this class and you have to pass a test. That's how they grade you. And on Wednesday night, I said I'm going to. I said yeah, absolutely they were. Was this Cook's going to be a great day? Yeah, a great game. Factors of soaring. Yeah. Um, I was going to go to a friend of mine's church. So I'm downtown Atlanta. I thought, well, he's just over in Marietta. You And my gosh, gridlock city. I took some back roads. I did make it. I did make it. And I left really early. And my thought was I'll get over there and I'll just eat something nearby and go to church. But it was so long. And this is just a normal day. It's a Wednesday, weekday. I didn't get out of class till like around 4. We got out at 4 that day, 4:30. So church starts at 7. I think it was 5 when we got out. So I had 2 hours, and it took me about an hour and 40 minutes. I was just down the road and I seen this little, I don't know, I think it was a Burger King or something. I just pulled in and grabbed something and got it on the go and ate on the go the next 3 miles or whatever it was, pulled in the church, and I just made it. I mean, I was like, wow, I would hate to live like that, you know. But I've talked to people that do business down there. Some of them are in the class because this was a safety class and they had to have recertification. And they would say, they own their own business or stuff and, getting recertified on some stuff so they can stay compliant. And they said there's a lot of business. The problem is getting to it and then getting home and then getting back. And they said, that's why sometimes, people will factor in a little bit more on the job and just stay in a motel. And try to get a job done quicker, staying later, starting earlier and stuff. Because they said by the time I get home, I'm just really going straight to bed and I have to get back up early. And I'm in the truck for, 2 hours trying to get to the job site. That's difficult. Plenty of money to be made, but getting to it. So maybe we all need little Jetsons space mobiles, flying through the air. Then they would gridlock the skies, I guess. Oh, we've come so far, but we haven't come so far. It's still the same old, just a lot more people. Yeah, there's a lot more kids out, Lewis, by several years ago. And I'm sure there are some communities where it's really big, but let's see here. Okay, let me answer this back because I'm waiting on my response. So just get back with them real quick so they won't sit wondering. Some people don't realize that I am on it live, and this is not a normal. Well, it is a normal night. I do record about every night. Thanks to y'all out here from YouTube and Facebook and uh, Twitch and Instagram and different places. Got a handful in here tonight. I realize everybody's busy tonight. Me and Rob had planned to be on live together. He got tied up with something, and so I said I'm going to come in for a little bit anyway and just see what's going on. I made this background, and I thought, well, I'm not wasting that. Oh, I never made. Well, let me take that back. I did help. I did help make a few jack o' lanterns in my day, but what I did was I would get my wife to just do all the cleaning out, and then I would help them cut it, cut the face and stuff, and then later on. Now they got the little things you just put over it. We freehanded all that stuff, but uh, I'd say y'all clean it out, get the goo out, and we'll get the rest. So put your little candle in there. And if you get them too early, they look kind of sad on Halloween. They're kind of sinking in, they're shriveling up. Looks like the Walking Dead jack o' lanterns, but they are cool to look at. It's a fun. A lot of churches do fall festivals around this time of year, and that's cool. You do outdoor games, and you have hay bales, and run games. You have food, you cook out, bob for apples, whatever it is. Now, I'm glad to see churches that have got involved. In some people think that you should never do none of that. And you know what? Let's give the kids an option. Get them to come dressed. As something that's not the dark stuff. So to speak. And I'm not putting down anybody. I'm just saying I don't want my kid to dress up as a demon or something like that. That's all I would say about it. But it's just good. It's good to give kids options, and that's what I do with my kids. Is I just gave them some options. Like, I'm not comfortable with this, but I am comfortable with this. Can we? Is there something we can do? And we sit and talked about it as a family. My dad, he was always just, that's it. I said no. Don't ask me why. It's because I was like, I'm not saying again, you got to be a lead your family, but teach kids how to have input. Teach them how to mature, how to think through issues, how to have alternatives. Because in life, we're constantly readjusting what we're doing because some things may not work, and we adjust. And shouldn't we do that as they're growing up to teach them how to have logical thought that we change? I can't do this, but how can I still? It's like our artists. How can I have artistic moments and it be okay? You know, I just think you gotta give them some kind of incentive to do that, and let them know that it's not always no. It's no, but what can we do? And I think kids have that discussion with clothing. You uh, some kids there is no negotiation whatsoever. And I watched the kids grow up being very hard, and they passed on to the next kids and the next kids, and then have rebellion. And I just give them a way to express themselves within the rules. Doesn't kids don't are not going to be carbon copies of us. Now we want them to exemplify those good traits and qualities we have, especially obviously the Christian ones, the fruit of the Spirit, and we should encourage that. But if we don't give them options of how to get there, then they just harden them up. We don't get there's never any discussion. Um, even in the Bible, there were those prayers where there was a discussion with God. I mean, and so this is God is supreme, and if people would talk to God in that way, why can't they talk to us that way? I mean, I never understood why. And sometimes I think it's ego. I really do. It's ego. Like, well, I got mine in line, and I ain't gonna do nothing. You watch. I keep a tight rein on my family, and yeah, I absolutely have I can understand certain parts of it. There's things we're just not going to allow, but within that, there may be things that we can. Um, say what's your idea? It's like, my son came to me, my youngest son, one time, and he said, "Can I?" And again, this is just examples, so don't throw tomatoes at the screen. He said, "Can I dye my hair blue?" And I said, "No, I just don't want." This is way before now. I mean, this is way, way, way back. We're talking, 30 something, 30 years ago. Nowadays you see this a lot. I still wouldn't like it. I said, "No, I don't want you painting your hair blue, but is there something else we can do?" You know, and so we would talk about that. Same with clothes. Okay, no, you're not wearing that, or you're not wearing it like that. But what way can I be okay with it? And you have a little bit. I feel like you have a little bit of say so in that too. And as they get older, you trust them more and more to make right choices. That's all part of maturing. And when we're talking about discipling people, we're discipling our family. We're teaching them. You have to. I mean, one day they're going to be 18. I just never understood people that said it's going to be the iron claw and the iron hammer coming down. And as soon as they turn 18, they are running as hard as they can the other way because they said I was never allowed to do nothing. And I think it's great to be a Christian. This is so much fun you can have. I've been around folks who know how to have fun and they know how to live life to the fullest. They just don't take part in things that's not it's what would be Christian. But there's a lot of fun to be had. They're crazy as a loon. They have fun, and praising Jesus every minute. I don't understand that, but there's just, I think probably they were done that way. It just gets passed down. But what I was going to say is we have only a few years with them, and we got to teach them how to grow up and make informed decisions, mature decisions. We release more and more information to them as they grow. Some things are taboo, and the parents won't talk about it, and they don't feel comfortable. They're embarrassed about it or whatever, and so the kids learn it from social media and other friends or whatever. And so the parents think, well, we ain't gonna talk about that. Well, there's somebody talking about it, and we better get to talking about it. You Several years ago, I remember. I think it was a principal, or it might have not been a principal. I think it was a principal, but it could have been somebody else. It was discussion. They said, well, if you're not going to talk to your kids, Axl Rose will. True. Nowadays, it would be other artists. I mean, he's still around, but for the young ones, they're probably not listening to him by and large. But there's other ones, and they are more than willing to talk to your kids every day through music, movie, comedy, whatever, little videos. But nowadays, it's all about the reels, the short videos. So they're talking, you know what, the kids are listening. And if you think, well, my kids ain't around none of that. Well, unless you got them in a cage somewhere, and you shouldn't have them there, they're gonna end up being around somebody that who will. And so you need to teach them how to make mature decisions, to say no, that's not who I am, and to tell you if there's a problem, and to feel like they can come and talk to you if there's a problem. And so I think that I say all this because we are on Halloween, and my original statement was find a way to enjoy the night. We called it Holy Night, and we'd go have fun. They say, well, what are we going to do? I said, what do you want to do? And I'll never forget the first time I told them that, and they said, you mean we get to choose? I said, as long as you make right choices, you choose. So they're like, can we go out and eat? Absolutely. Oh, can we get a pick? Absolutely. My wife looks at me like, well, what if they pick something we don't like? I says, they're not. We're making it, they're not. So, they did pretty good. And I think they said, can we watch a movie? I said, if it's family oriented, absolutely. So we figured out a movie. We ate, we went out a movie. They said, can we get some candy? Absolutely. Where's that? Let's go to the store. Let's get candy. It's your night. We had a blast. We had a blast. If I just said no, and it was no, and I don't want you doing that, I don't want to celebrate that. They would have resented it because of all their friends and stuff coming to school and everything. Instead, they went to school and they said, you know what? My family had a lot of fun. And they were actually had kids that said, I wish my parents would talk to me that way. And I wish, I got to go out and do that, but I never get to make any decisions on anything. And so you got to teach kids how to grow up and be an adult. How to grow up and make these right, informed decisions. There's nothing prouder as a parent than when your child is either they're fixing to turn 18 or they have turned 18 or whatever age they are. It could be any age, and you see them make a great decision, and you hear them say things that they heard from you, and that's just that feel good feeling like, wow, something got there, something sunk in, and they're taking it, and they're making it theirs now. They're not using their name, but it's in them. It's a part of them, and they're using that, and they're applying it in their own family or their situation or whatever. And they're making changes. It's not exact. They do it their way. They have fun with it, and they say, okay, we did this, but I'm going to add this to it. And you're like, well, that's a good idea. I should have thought of that too. And you're just real proud of them, and it's just great. My granddaughter comes up from school, and some days she'll say, let me tell you what this boy did. Let me tell you what this girl did. Let me tell you what I heard. What somebody asked me or whatever. And sometimes she'll say, this is what I told them. And I'll say, I'm proud of you. You great decision there. It's a great way to be mature. You've shown me maturity here. You couldn't have done any better here. And the smile they have break across their face, and they feel it deep down their heart. And it's that affirmation that I'm growing up and I can do things and I will do things and I can make right decisions. And that doesn't mean they're never going to make a mistake. Lord knows I've made mine. But they grow up and they're making these decisions. Even if they make a mistake, they'll correct it. They'll course correct themselves. Like, man, that was just a wise decision. I knew better. And we've all said that. But now this is what I'm going to do. You know, whenever they come to you and they say, I need to tell you something. It's usually the preface for something you probably, and they might even say, you're probably not going to like it. I always say, it's okay. I'm glad you're coming to tell me. Tell me what you got, and then we'll talk about it. And you can see them just so, tense. It's like, just relax. We're just talking. Tell me. Tell me. No matter what it is, just tell me. And part of it you might go, oh, it's not bad. Another part you're like, well, okay, okay. And then you talk about, okay, well, tell me why you made that decision that way. Okay, then what would you do if this happened again? Or it may be something I have to do, maybe I got to get involved, maybe not. Um, maybe they need to apologize. That's another thing to work on is say, I'm sorry. I didn't handle this well. I got my temper. I said something to my friend, or I got, okay, now you got to go fix that. You got to go fix that. You know, uh, One day, and when they're a teenager, you get that. And one day we were known, and they've been a little spat. It happens. And I don't know, I knew she said some things however she said it didn't come out right. Because the tone inflection of something can make it bad. And so he made these statements, and you're like, okay, now you need to fix that. I can say me, you. And so driving down the road, a couple more, a few miles, it's like, can I borrow your phone? I need to call him. I need to make this right. Absolutely. Thank you. And or maybe they want to wait to stop and they want to walk off and handle it privately. Because it might be a little embarrassing. They realize they did wrong, and then they come back and they say, "It's all good. We're friends again." If only adults could do that, right? I know they do it, but not enough. Adults will hold on to stuff for years, and kids are like, "I got to fix that," you know. And I'll say something like, "Well, you know what you need to do here." Or I might ask them, do you think you should do? What is your just are you just going to not be friends anymore? This is one of your best friends. Why? Okay, maybe they did say some things wrong. But I said, but who's going to be the bigger person here? And say, look, I don't like what happened, and I wanna fix this. I want to make it right. And I've always said that. Take the high ground. Be the first to reach out with the olive branch of peace. If we could only have that, between people especially even here in America, if we can only have that, people that take the high ground. You know what they do? They get on social media and trash the other person to everybody. They post private messages between them. I hate this every time I see this. Why would you do that? Why would you destroy another person and you make it very hard for the other person to ever reconcile? And you may be thinking, well, I'm not going to reconcile. Well, how do you know that? How do you know that? Does you know in some situations, maybe you can't. Maybe it's so egregious that you can't. But why would you close yourself down to not, to angering somebody? I never like to see that. I remember one time somebody said to me, somebody left me a voicemail or a text. It was a text, and they were mad at you, and they said some awful things about you. And I want to show it to you. And I said, I don't want to see it. And they looked at me like I was crazy. And they said, but well, you don't know what they said. This is bad. They're saying some really horrible things about you. And I said, I don't need to see it. In fact, I refuse to see it. Now, what I ask you to do is delete it. If you're my friend, if you care about me, delete that message. I can't delete what's in your brain. I don't want to hear about it. Delete the message, please. And they get almost mad because they want to tell you, look what they said. You're going to be so mad. And they said, well, why don't you want to see it? I want to know. I said, that's the problem. Curiosity killed the cat, right? I said, if I look at that, it's going to make it even harder for me to reconcile. And they say, well, the way they're talking to you, I wouldn't want to reconcile. I wouldn't want to be friends with them again. And you're like, well, okay, if I see that, it would make it harder. I don't, but you know what? I can't help how they feel. But when I see them again, I want to be able to just shake their hand. I want to move above this. I don't want to be that. I don't want an enemy. And I refuse to listen to that stuff. I've made that decision years and years, over 20 years ago. And I said, I refuse to look at that. If somebody sends me something ugly about the podcast, if it was positive, constructive criticism, I would listen to that. Okay, could you fix this? I don't know this. But if I could, and within the first line, I can tell where this is going. If the first line is, curse words, and they're, saying horrible things, delete. I don't need to read it. I'm done. Because all it's going to do is make me mad anyway. I'm going to sit and brood on it. I overanalyze anyway. I just let it go. So if anybody sends me about that, I see if the header in the email, if it was to say you suck, I delete. There's no reason to read that other than to get angry, and that gives place to the devil, and you get bitter, and it makes it harder because your flesh will get involved. And I just don't want to. I don't want that. I don't want that. And so I wish more people would do that. But instead today, it's broadcast city. Hey, look at the lights. Look what this person said. And here's another one trying to destroy their business. Okay, maybe you had a bad experience. You've got to take it personally upon yourself to go tell everybody that they're horrible. Now, if there's a trend, you might give caution. I don't have a problem with caution, but to release private messages and stuff, come on, you're just pumping your own your sales. You want everybody to do that for you. I have had people that said they had a horrible experience at certain businesses, and I've never had nothing but excellent service. I'm not saying you didn't have that, but I've never had that, and I'm not going to just cut their business off because because you said you have bad experience. I would hope that would make it change, and they would make it right. But yeah, I'm not perfect. That's why I don't want to look at the messages. That's why I don't do that. I don't. I do a little social media. I'm involved in the business of social media. I'm on me and Rob. We're on all these socials, and here I am, this private person, and and I'm putting myself out there. So when we very first began, it was a little intimidating for me. I'm putting myself out here on this video that's live now. At first, we were recording everything. It was not quite as hard. You go live, and you don't ever know who's in there. And we've had those that come in and said, "You're horrible. You're this. You're whatever." Okay, I don't need you here then. Go somewhere else. If I'm that bad, go somewhere else. And some we had to ban. We hated doing that. There's a part of me that hates that. But after a while, it's damaging to our brand. It's damaging to us, and we don't need to see that. So in that way, I'm just still doing the same thing. I'm not reading it. I'm not looking at it. If you want to be trashy just for the sake of being trashy, there's other podcasts. But sometimes people say something like, "You're fat," or "You're this," or whatever. I don't need to see that. If we're all joking around, we can joke with you. We don't mind doing that. We have fun doing it. But it is a little intimidating to go online and be live, and so you're putting yourself out there, and you're obviously going to run into some knuckleheads, as Tim Walls would say, as he be one, and they're going to say some stuff. Some people are just evil and they're mean. I refuse to let it get me down. And I'm like anybody else. If you attack my kid, we're done, man. I'll pray for you. I will forgive you, but I'm not letting you back in here, because if you jump on the kiddo, who has every right to come in, it's a family-friendly program. This is not bar talk. That's not what this podcast is called. It's not bar talk. It's not a bunch of Army guys sitting around. Although we have military come in, we welcome them. There's other programs for that where they can drop the F-bombs. They can, talk sexual or whatever they want. This is not who we are. We don't want that. We want family friendly. We want a broad spectrum of people that come in here, and we're not telling them how to talk. We're just saying not in our chat, because we want people to come in here and feel. I don't want people to be attacked. you know. And we appreciate our regulars who come in. Why would we let somebody come in? We want all to become a regular. Why would we let others come in here and attack those? Just using that as an example. We haven't had, it's not something that's all the time. We've had to deal with it a little bit. And, that's just the way it goes. That's life. We have to roll with it. And one of my bosses would say, I told him I loved it. He said, life is tough. Don't make it harder. Life is already tough. Don't make it harder. So let me run a commercial too. We'll stay on just a little bit longer. Then I may be back for a late night show. We'll just keep the same background. I may come in. I may change it up a little bit. I may not. I may just come back in. I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to stay on here. And the kiddo gets home, spend some time with her, and see the fam before they venture off to bed. And I hope you'll come back with me, or if you can't, we'll see you another time. But we'll be back. I'm just going to run a couple little ads here, and gives me a chance to freshen my coffee up. Be right back. The Southern Fried Podcast now has its own store. Go to sfplive.com/store. These links are also found on Facebook and X and some of the other social streams. You will find shirts and hats and mugs and bags and all kinds of items with many different designs. These are just but a few of the more than 250 items that we have with different designs. We hope you'll come and shop, support the podcast. Every dollar that is paid will go towards keeping the podcast growing, and we thank you for your support. sfplive.com/store. Go shop today and get that favorite person in your life their Southern Fried Podcast item, and it'll help us advertise the podcast as you wear these things or take these things out into the public. We thank you for your support. If you have any questions, email us at southernfriedpodcast@yahoo.com. We'll be glad to answer. We're running some specials as well, 20, 25, and even 30% off in some cases. This will eliminate the mailing charges for sure. So go to sfplive.com/store for your Southern Fried Podcast items today. Remember, Christmas is just around the corner. Thank you. Hey, Southern Fried Podcast fans, we now have an affiliation with the energy drink Dubby. Dubby energy drinks come in different types. We'd ask you to go shop, and when you use code Southern Fried, you get a 10% discount, and you help the Southern Fried Podcast remain on the air. Thank you for your support. Remember, Dubby and the Southern Fried Podcast with their code Southern Fried. This is David Roberts. Join the Southern Fried Podcast each Sunday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Sunday Morning in the Word. That would be the Word of God, of course. Maybe you're getting ready to go to church, or maybe you can't go to church. Maybe you're homebound or not able to go, not feeling well. Well, we hope to give you a little church before you go to church. And extra church is not going to hurt any of us. So join us each Sunday morning at 8 a.m. and we'll dive into the Word of God and have a few thoughts that'll get you started in your day. I hope you will read your Bible each and every day and pull out your Bibles on Sunday morning and follow along. And we'll just have a good time in the Lord Jesus together. So join David Cordell every Sunday morning at 8 o'clock for Sunday Morning in the Word with the Southern Fried Podcast. God bless. The Southern Fried Podcast is pleased to announce our newest show called Southern Talk. We merged two shows called Manners and Mannerisms 101 into this new show that we felt would better fit our interest in talking all things Southern. So join us for Southern Talk, where we still cover all those manners and customs that we are known for in the South. But now we can expand the topics and reach of this show in a show called Southern Talk with Rob and Dave. And we're back. Appreciate you listening to commercials. I know sometimes people don't like those, but it advertises other shows, and we do have our affiliates with Mammoth Nation, which you see up here on the screen is on the card there. I joined there. I'm going to be doing that myself, and got a couple things I want to order, and I'm going to go through there and help the podcast as well, going through our link and help the podcast too. So that's why I'm doing the W. I order through our links and stuff, and we get a discount for that being affiliate, and we're showing those things. I've got my shaker. I'm waiting on my other stuff to come in, and here we go. W energy drinks. I love this, and if you get one of these, they've got different types. And I like some of their stuff. It's like a little bit more like for gamers, but I like some of their symbols and stuff. You can see that there. And I've put water in this as well. So if you don't always want the energy drink, they've got shakes and stuff, and you'll help us as well. So I like it, and it's light. You know, it does. It's not like metal, or like a Yeti or something. It doesn't keep it forever, but it keeps as long as I need it. So, and we'll be getting the energy drinks in soon, and be trying those out. We'll be trying those out live on the air. At least I will. I'm sure Rob will as well. Um, but yeah, but I'll probably do I'll do two. I'll do the cans, and I'll do also the little packets. I may later order some of the powder as well, in the bigger containers. But I like the little packets because I can take those with me, take them to work. I like to do that. I had some the other day that my wife gave me, and those are great. I like water. I love water. In fact, I've got some water right here in front of me. I've got the water right there. But just straight water, sometimes a little heavy on my stomach. Some water can be like that. When you put a little flavor with it, it just makes it a lot easier. And W is a place you can do that. And they say the added benefit is with their concentration, it makes you sharper and focused. I need that. So I also do watch. We were away from it for a while. I just had started back with our Southern Talk show, and I do that one. Rob may or may not join in, but other than that, we got to talking about elections and everything else in Southern Talk, and it can do that. But we try to talk about things around the South and attractions. I still want to talk about Kentucky and attractions up there. I'm going to cover the top 10 attractions that the state has. We'll really look at the top five, but we'll mention all 10. And there's several in there that I want to see that I've never been to, and some have been around forever, and some are newer. But and I want to go. That's road trips that I want to make, and we'll document the journey when we go. So be looking for that. Another episode we had that Tuesday night, Southern Talk. We did our sports show this week. We did I Remember That. Those will all be coming every week. And but some of those I do have them on a schedule. And I'm going to remake the schedule up because, and if we have to bump one, we'll give you an alternative date for that or time. It might be later. Life happens. And so sometimes we have to do that. But I'm just checking in fact, I'm actually supposed to be in a Southern Talk right now, but because it's a Halloween special, I really kind of blended those two things together. So you're kind of in Southern Talk and you're on the front porch. So that's okay too. I like that. Well, like I said, the election talk is, and I had a lady come in today, and I don't know, I can't comment on it really other than say I'm glad people's voted, but she was saying that Fox, I think it was, Fox News was reporting that Georgia was doing better than anybody across the state, or across the nation, excuse me. I don't know, and I haven't looked this up, but I think we have had more people come through. We've handled it better. Um, so I'll have to see if I can find that. I'm not going to do it live on the air, but there is a lot of news. Of course, the other night, Trump's rally, he shows up. He's got the picture of him in the garbage truck and comes out on stage. And now all these people are going out on Halloween and they're dressing up as garbage. I don't know if you saw this trend now. They're dressing up as garbage. Hey, Tammy. And so they they put this, I hope it's clean garbage. I mean, you can have cleaner garbage, but they take a trash bag and put it around them. Now people have went out on Halloween as trash, as garbage, as conservatives were called. Um, but there is a new thing. Mark Cuban has came out, the owner of the Dallas Mavericks and a billionaire. I didn't get to see all of his comments, but they say he sparks fury as the garbage controversy rages. So rages across the land. Um, and he had comments about women or something, and it's inflamed this thing. And can people just not get out and make their comments? I mean, really, the more they talk, the more they mess up, the more that they say things they shouldn't, and that can happen on both sides, like the comedian and the Puerto Rican. Just leave that alone, dude. I mean, come on. And nobody's in a laughing mood at right now. About, and if you are, you're going to make somebody else mad. So, and I would say the day, and again, they're not voting for you anyway. So you say, what's the big deal? The big deal is independents and undecided voters, and making sure that you have those people. You just don't want to push them like that. But it's just funny. He comes out in the safety vest, and he's in the garbage truck. I said, and I don't know if he would. I told Robert last night. I think that was that last night or not before. It was last night. I said he should drive up be driven up to the voting precinct. He's going to vote at him and Melania in the garbage truck. People would hate that. The liberal media would hate that. That means it would be real effective. It would be so funny if they did something like that. I mean, take what they give you. Um, there's an article on there about the man who drove the garbage truck, and he's got some behind the scenes comments about that. I have not read this. Um, so we're getting down again. Tennessee's last day to vote was today. Polls are closed there now. Georgia's polls are closed, but they will be there tomorrow, Friday, and then they're done until Tuesday. So we're getting down to it now. This weekend is going to be a lot of conversation. So, um, but yeah, there well, let me just say it this way: the ugly is starting to come out. The ugly is starting to come out even more, and they're not gonna be as guarded with their comments. And come Tuesday, it's gonna be full on battle rattle. Just wait and see. The ugly is going to come out, and the later it gets into election day, and that night they're not going to care anymore, and there's going to be those that are come out, and they're going to be trashing. I mean, they've been holding back. They so wanted to say ugly things, and you're going to hear ugly come out in a way you've probably not seen in a long time. I think, I hope I'm wrong, but on election night, after the polls close or near the end, watch the ugly come out. If things are not going their way or certain ways in certain states and certain battlegrounds, the ugly is going to start coming out. And that's just, you know, ugly is as ugly does. And I hate that. I hope it's not true, but I can see it happening. I'm just glad I'm going to be in an election, of course. I hope there's no ugly there. We do have security full time, and I'm glad of that. But I will be there. But for most people, their vote is in, and they're just sitting back and waiting now. There's still a lot of people to vote, though. A lot of people have procrastinated and not went. Maybe they want to vote on election day. I did see two voters come in today that had their absentee ballot. One said it got wet. They had a leak. It got wet, and they wanted to surrender that and then just vote in person. Of course, you can do that. And then another gentleman had it. He come in. He said, I don't want to mail this, or I just want to surrender it, and I want to vote. He did. He said, I just want to take care of it right here. And that's exactly what he did. And I was glad that he was, able to do that. Saw a young man come in today. He turned 18 today. First time voter, obviously. And we had several first time voters as I was serving as a greeter. Several first time voters that came in and, um, voted. And in one case, their mom was with them. One case, they were by themselves. And one case, and we've had a lot of people that were way up in adulthood, never voted before. And they'd say, I've never done this. So could you, help me out? Absolutely. We got you. Don't worry. It's an easy process. And then they was like, they come out and they said, you're right. That's quick and easy and not hard at all. And so, yeah, it's not hard to vote. It's not hard to get registered to vote and just, take part in it. And I was glad to see that. We gave them a little cheer. First time voter, yay, glad, happy for you, Seeing a lot of kids coming in. They were taking it all in. We love it when they come in, bring their kids. It's great. And they were probably just thinking, hurry, 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 Halloween's coming and I want to go get my candy. But they were voting first, and some people were, left work at the end of their work day. They were voting. Some people were on their lunch break, but they were coming. And hopefully, it's a good day tomorrow at our early voting sites in Catoosa County, Georgia. And on Tuesday, I will be at my regular precinct, and we will. In fact, I think I got to go with the manager. We got to pick up the key of the book and everything on Monday. I forgot about that, so I not forgot, but I got to tell my my employer that I will be leaving to go down there and do that and come back to work. Or it may be so late in the day. I don't remember what time we're going. Maybe early, but we'll do that. We got to get the keys and the codes and all that stuff and be ready to go at 5:30 on Tuesday morning, Election Day 2024, and we will be live here. Now we've got shows that are live before that. Don't forget in the morning, 6 a.m. the Southern Fried Podcast morning show, 6 to 7. There may be a show tonight late night. I may do. Just look for that around 11 Eastern Standard Time. Friday night, Front Porch Talking with Backwoods Cryptids. If you hear my dog barking, she's missing her mom, and she's usually here at this time. They'll be back, and I'm gonna go in there and give her some company here in a minute before I come back on. But then weekend we have, and plus our MAGA minutes, our morning devotion, morning funny. I brought those back, and hopefully Rob will be joining me on those. But he's not been able to get back in there with that. But I've had a lot of people ask about it. I said, well, we're gonna start some funny. So I think we're funnier together, but we do have some funnies, and so we will continue that. We have Veteran of the Week on Saturday, Sunday morning in the Word. Then it's the last SFP News Desk, Christian Conservative News, before the election. So it'll be all about all the election news we can pull, and looking at we'll probably look at a few polls and stuff just to get a flavor, and kind of look at any numbers we can. I'm gonna try to pull some percentages. The people. I mean, There's nothing wrong with those. You can pull percentages. They know how many people's voted out of registered voters in areas. And we may look at some of that. I'm gonna try to pull that data over the weekend. Now that it's officially after tomorrow. Wait till the weekend and do that for Sunday night. Those numbers won't change until Tuesday, and I would love to do that. We were looking at some of them today. So yeah. Let's see here. I hear people back, and we have people coming in.
Trick or treat.
I have kids that did come in, and I don't know why you're handing me that. Are you putting it in your bag?
Well, how many pieces do we get?
Well, whatever you want. I mean, have at it, grab at it, and fill up your bag. But leave me something. I mean, y'all getting everything. You gotta leave me some M&Ms and Whoppers, and you dropped some, man.
That's good. Look at how much candy
Look,
I got.
you dropped some. All right.
I feel bad I didn't have any trick or treaters, so we decided I could.
Well, I'm glad you came in here and sit that back in there and go see your dog. There's Aria. I love you too. And,
Who's on here with you?
I don't know. They're just out there. They could be anybody.
Papa, we had so much fun.
Well, I'm glad you had fun.
Nanny, I want to tell him this. Yeah. I thought, Nanny,
Did she wear the mask?
Okay. Listen. No, listen. Okay. So basically, Aria got tired and her feet started coming because she was walking a lot. Yeah. And
Okay.
Alright, listen. I'll tell. No, it's my story.
It's her story. Let her tell her story.
Alright, listen. So we were riding, right? And I put my bag out the window. I said, Kayla, can you please do this? Because I didn't feel like walking no more and get me. I said, can you please give me some candy? So they took the bag. And when they tried to go give it to me, the car was driving off. And Andy started zooming off and she and then the whole candy jumped out and she ran over some of it.
Oh, Lord.
And we had to pick it up. Or let's see if I got caught.
All right. Good to see you, girls. Live photo bombed on the show, but that's good. So we didn't get to see the others. Give me just a minute. We'll talk. I'm fixing to come off of here, and we'll talk. Y'all go in there and get your candy sorted, and I'll be back on here probably for a late night. Get them to settle down. That's what I want to do. Spend some time with them before they go to bed. But I hope your kiddos had fun, or I hope you had people come to your home. And again, like I said, find a way to embrace it. Don't let the devil, be the decider in all this. Do something to engage kids, and they will remember that stuff. So the poor dog has missed her mom. All right, we'll be back on. I'll probably be back on at 11. If not, I'll see you in the morning, but I'm going to try to come back on and do a late night. Thanks for everybody that came in here. We'll see you soon. Go in here, see family. Uh, comfort the dog who's now in probably PTSD. You know, she misses her family so bad when they're not here. So she's still trying to get over them being gone. So, and probably wants candy. You have to watch that. Probably trying to steal some. But we'll be back in just a little bit. So we'll see you later.